Ambassador Zithrax had seen many species across the Galactic Council chambers, but none quite like the humans. They were young, brash, and dangerously unpredictable. Most species regarded them with a mixture of fascination and concern, a civilization that had gone from splitting atoms to splitting space-time in less than 2 centuries. The Veltharian crisis of 2247 changed everything. When the plague struck Velthar Prime, it wasn't just another outbreak. The bioengineered pathogen worked its way through the Veltharian population with surgical precision, targeting their unique triple helix DNA structure. Every medical facility across 3 sectors had declared it impossible to cure. The Veltharians, one of the oldest and most respected species in the Council, faced extinction within months. Zithrax had been the one to approach the human delegation. It went against every instinct his people possessed. The Crithani were proud, their crystalline bodies reflecting light in patterns that spoke of ancient dignity. To ask for help from a species barely out of their home system felt like admitting defeat to a child. But Ambassador Chen had simply nodded, made one call and said, "Give us 3 weeks." The Council had laughed. The Veltharians had wept. Zithrax had wondered if he'd made a terrible mistake. 18 days later, Dr. Sarah Kim walked into the Veltharian medical complex on Earth's moon base, carrying a single vial. She'd worked without sleep, her team rotating in shifts while she remained constant, fueled by what humans called coffee and what the rest of the galaxy called legally questionable stimulants. The cure worked. Every single Veltharian survivor recovered within 48 hours. The Veltharian High Council had offered the humans mining rights, technology transfers, and territorial concessions. The humans had refused everything except one thing, a formal acknowledgement that the Veltharians owed humanity a favor. No terms, no conditions, no expiration date. Just a debt, freely given and formally recorded. Humans don't forget debts owed to them, Ambassador Chen had said with a smile that made Zithrax's crystalline structure vibrate with unease. But they also don't forget debts they owe. Now, 15 years later, Zithrax stood in that same moon base. Though the circumstances were reversed in the worst possible way, the Crithani homeworld was gone. Not destroyed, not conquered, gone. The Devourers, an extra-dimensional species that the galaxy had thought were myths, had opened a rift and simply erased Crethan from existence. Billions of his people, their history, their crystalline cities that sang in the solar winds, all of it consumed in an instant. Only the off-world populations remained. 3 million Crithani scattered across the galaxy, refugees in a universe that suddenly seemed far more hostile and far less permanent. Zithrax had come to Earth not with hope, but with desperation. The Galactic Council had offered sympathy and temporary housing. The other species had provided aid packages and relocation assistance. All practical, all sensible, all utterly insufficient. He needed the impossible. He needed his world back. Ambassador Chen was older now, her hair streaked with gray, but her eyes held the same unsettling intensity. She listened to his proposal, his mad, desperate proposal without interruption. "You want us to recover your planet from extra-dimensional space," she said, flatly. "Yes. A planet that was erased from our reality 15 months ago? Yes. Using technology that doesn't exist to fight enemies we don't understand, with success rates that even our most optimistic scientists put at approximately 0. Zithrax's light patterns dimmed with shame. Yes, Chen was quiet for a long moment. Then she smiled, that same unsettling smile. "The Veltharians owe us a favor too, you know. And the Zertil. And the Draconians after that mess with their son. We've been collecting favors for 15 years, Ambassador. We've been wondering when we'd need to call them in." She stood, pulling up holographic displays that showed ships, scientists, and soldiers from a dozen species. Humanity learned something important when we were young and stupid and alone. Impossible just means nobody's tried hard enough yet. When we were dying from diseases, we invented medicine. When we were trapped on one planet, we built ships. When the universe said we couldn't go faster than light, we folded space itself. Chen's eyes gleamed with something that made Zithrax's entire body resonate with hope and terror in equal measure. "You saved the Veltharians when everyone said it was impossible. You're calling in a favor from humanity, but here's what you need to understand. We're going to call in every favor we're owed. Every species that said they'd help us if we ever needed it. Because if the Devourers can erase a planet, then nowhere is safe. Not Earth, not Velthar, not any world we care about. She extended her hand, that peculiar human gesture of agreement and partnership. We'll get your planet back, Ambassador. Not because it's possible, but because it's necessary. And humanity has made a career out of turning necessary into possible. Zithrax reached out with his crystalline appendage, clasping her hand. The warmth of her skin against his cool surface created small fractals of light between them. I cannot promise we will succeed, he said, honesty forcing the words out. Chen laughed. That bizarre human sound that could mean joy or despair or defiant rage. Ambassador, you've never seen humanity at war. We don't fight for territory or resources. We fight for spite. We fight because someone told us we couldn't. And right now the universe itself told us recovering your world is impossible. She squeezed his hand tighter. The Devourers are about to learn why you should never ever let humanity owe you a favor. Because we'll tear apart the fabric of reality itself to pay it back. 6 months later, the Krithan expedition fleet assembled, 200 ships from 15 species, all working on technology that shouldn't exist, to attempt something that couldn't be done. And leading them, flying a flag that showed a blue planet and a crystalline world side by side, was humanity. Because when humanity owes you a favor, prepare for the impossible. It's the only thing they know how to deliver.